What's up, my loves and fellow creatives? I'm going to do a tutorial on this because this is a pretty complicated process, but I think that is much needed. In order to do a design like we want to do here, we need consistent characters. And in this case, I could not find absolutely any on stock photos, especially given that we need 4 different poses of the same type of person so that we can make a mock-up for our design here. This will also help you if you have graduates that don't have their photos yet, but you can utilize AI, artificial intelligence, via Midjourney in order to create these characters and do a face swap of your client so that they have some beautiful images that you can go ahead and get together for designs, for their invitations, and maybe later on you can switch those images out once they get their formal photos in. So without further ado, I'm going to show you how I'm going to create some images here. This is live, so you're going to see the bumps and the bruises that come along the way of AI, and then I'll show you how I bring it into Photoshop, clean up some things, and then also how I put it into this 5-minute template flip. If you're ready for all that, let's go. All right, I'm going to go ahead and go over to my Discord server where I've pretty much already started up. And this is for our AI in Action class. So if you're in that class, of course, you'll have access to everything that's here, including your rooms where you all were prompting and have all of this beautiful information and beautiful images. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. I'm going to start with the prompt here, and you want to vary this prompt. This will be in your working document. All the prompts are there. I'm going to vary this prompt based on what I really want to achieve out of it. But the idea here is that you're splitting this into two images so that you can change expressions and eventually will change different poses. So I do want to give credit where it's due. I got the idea of how to start this prompt up from Tao Prompts, and it might be Tao Prompts, Tao Prompts. So shout out to Tao Prompts on YouTube. Y'all check that channel out. It's a lot of good information for AI. So let's go ahead and get into why we're going to split this into two images. We want to be able to change the expressions on his face so that we have something to reference later on whenever we're developing our images of the different poses. Okay. So this is a little bit of a complicated process. That's why I wanted to break this down and run this down for everyone, because I feel like this could really help us, especially when we're doing our mock-ups and our designs. All right. I am starting with the prompt where it says photo of an 18-year-old, handsome black male, short haircut and brown eyes, muscular with dark skin complexion. You will find that it is very difficult in Midjourney to get dark skin complexions. You have to play with it. You may even need to tell it that the model is from, like I put from Nigeria, from Sudan with a dark skin complexion, because I wanted to actually reference images outside of the norm that it may find on the internet or in its database so that I can get closer to a darker skin complexion. And then you want to put that they're just wearing something basic like a white dress shirt and a gray tie, because this is pretty much our original model images. We have natural lighting, Kodak Portrait 160 is the camera type, and it's split into two image shot from multiple angles. Now the aspect ratio is 2:1, and that's because you want it to be able to put two images side by side instead of a 1:1 ratio. The style is set at raw so that it gives us the photo images and it doesn't try to give us illustrations or some of the hyper realistic type of images that sometimes we can get out of Midjourney. Okay, the whole purpose is we want this to look like a natural photo shoot. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and here hit enter. And that's going to start rendering an image here. But I want to show you that I've done a couple of different times here, and I want to show you that I'll put this one I put from Sudan with dark skin complexion. You can see I'm getting a darker skin complexion. If I don't put from Sudan and I put darker skin complexion, all of these I put darker skin complexion and I'm not getting a darker skin complexion. So if you're having an issue trying to get darker skin tones, this is a hack that I want you to use. This is definitely giving me darker skin tones here. And you, and I think in our working document too, I gave you all some suggestions for countries to put in, like basically models that are from different countries. And I'll just run down a couple of those for you all. I have Angola, Somalia, Sudan, Ethiopia, Nigeria, Namibia, and Kenya. Tanzania, Ghana, and South Africa. So if you take those specific ethnicities, those specific nationalities, it will reference images from that culture more, and it will, I believe it gives better results when you're seeking different types of facial features, cheekbones, the way that the eyes are set, even foreheads. Like if you want that nice round pretty forehead, sometimes I'll put in Ethiopian and I get those nice features. I want you all to understand that you're going to have to play with these prompts a little bit to get what you really want. You may even have to pull it into Photoshop and change skin tones as well. All right, so this one, let's see what I got here. I'm going to go with, because I was looking for a darker skin male, I'm going to go with the top right. Now, the reason why this is important is because if you're going to face swap at any point in time, the complexion of the person that you're face swapping needs to be very similar to the complexion of the model that you're using. So that's why it's important to prompt this way. All right, let's go ahead and I'm going to upscale number 2 here. And the way that this goes is the images go 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, and now that I have this upscaled, I'm pleased. It looks like my left and right look similar. We're going to go ahead and change out some of the expressions here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on Vary Region. And before I do that, just to let you know, if you wanted some variations of this character, you can hit Very Strong. and let it roll. And in this case, it should start giving us characters that look very similar to this one, but it will give us subtle changes. So if there's something that you're looking at and is not quite what you want to see, try the very strong, and then you'll be able to upscale one of those versions of the image. But this one I really like, so I'm going to go ahead and go on with this one. So I'm hitting vary region. And what I want to do is I want to select this area of the face here. And I'm going to go a little bit below the jawline because sometimes if you tell people to smile, then of course certain features are going to change in the length of the face. So I'm going to give it a little extra room here, but I'm just selecting this face here. And then right after I describe the complexion, I'm going to put the expression here. So if you want the expression to appear as more important, you can put it towards the beginning. So I'll try to put it towards the beginning this time because for some reason in Midjourney, what I have discovered, it is a little difficult sometimes to get my black male models to smile. And if you think about it, the images that is referencing for models, typically the models are straight faced, runway style, fashion style. So I could imagine that it would be a little difficult to find to create those images that smile. So if you're having problems getting your image to smile, which we did have in class, what I'm telling you to do is to go ahead and put that they're smiling or have a happy expression closer to the front of the prompt so that it has more priority, it has more weight. So here I'm going to put that, I'm going to put after this comma, put happy expression. And then I'm just going to let it go forward. And what it's going to do is going to reference the image on the other side in order to maintain that that person still is going to have to look on the left side. Even though I'm changing his expression, his actual features should not change much. And here, while that's cooking, I wanted to show you some of the variations that it gave me. So I do see some differences in the features, but you're still getting those two images that allow you to basically reference one side while it's changing the other. So for those of you who are in the class, in the AI 16 class, you'll have access to this particular room. And I know some of you had a hard time doing some of the male models. So just jump into this room, see what we're doing here, and feel free to use any of the models in any of the 25 rooms that we have here for your projects. All right. And here, I think you're starting to see the issue that I had with trying to do a happy expression. We're going to make this work just a little bit harder here. You see how all it did was make his nostrils kind of flare up a little bit and barely curl up his lips there. So like I said, this is real time, real deal. I'm not lying to y'all. I'm not making stuff up. But what I would love to do is show you in real time what I would do. So I'm going to go back to this one. We'll go, I'm sorry, not very strong. We're going to go very region again. And you'll notice it still has that region selected. And I'm just going to put smiling. Okay. Let's see. We'll put smiling. And then actually, before I put smiling, I'm going to put excited expression. Okay, because excited tends to get a little more juice out of a Midjourney when it comes to our male models. So if I put excited, hopefully it's going to give me a little bit of grin. It's going to give me some energy and maybe some pretty teeth. Hopefully it gives us pretty teeth because a lot of times it will not give us pretty teeth, or it may give us beautiful top teeth and then not so beautiful bottom teeth, and we just have to deal with that. This is a very powerful tool, but also we're at its mercy. This is why you need to know Photoshop, so you can bring these images into Photoshop and you can further tweak and edit the images that you create in artificial intelligence. All right, I got one of them, just one of them, to just barely open his mouth. This is what I was telling you is so important for us to understand what these systems are doing. Okay, let's try this one more again. I'm going to go up here to vary region. And this time I'm going to put that he is smiling. And then I also like to do different types of smile, like smiling, laughing. You could also do that, like a slight smile. You can put different expressions in there, and hopefully it reads what it needs. Right. And while that's working, I'm going to go ahead and send another very region here and tell it that this one, I'm going to put this one, he's laughing. Okay, so I see I might get a couple of teeth in there on this one. And this is just a part of the process. So what I'm doing is I'm letting it simmer, I'm letting it cook. I have a couple of prompts going here. And I want to see a variation between when I tell it to smile versus laugh, that sort of thing. So what we want to do is we want to get 5 different references of this face, 5 different expressions, so that we can use this model in order to develop images later on without having to face swap. All right, I got some teeth there. That looks good. So I'm going to go with image number 1. I'm going to upscale it. That's somewhat of a smile. And then let me check out laughing is still cooking over here. Look, image number 4 gave us some glasses. It'll do some slight variations for you. And then you can also put in different like moods. So you can put like somber and sad, um, or intrigued and things of that nature. And a matter of fact, we'll try a couple of those. I don't really like to make the sad images. However, it does give you different presentations of that character. So this one, let's put somber, and I'm going to put shy instead of sad. Let's see if it gives us a shy brother. And I don't know if y'all know anything about 5 heart. No, that's not 5. Yeah, that is 5 heartbeats. You playing shy brother? Let's see if it gives us shy brother over here. All right, and let's see another one we can do. Same idea here. This one I'll do like flirty. And I want to do a slight smile. Let's see what that does. Uh-oh, did I get an error just there? Did it say it was going? It looks like it's going. All right, so let's check out the one where we're told it to be laughing. Definitely, I'm getting more. Like this one was like, all right, you said you wanted to smile. Here we go. This one is probably more of the bigger smile that would like. This one, you can tell that his eyes are looking in a different direction. Um, and I'm not necessarily liking how the eyes are looking there. However, if I like this smile, then it is possible to upscale that one and still use it as a reference. And it more than likely is not going to use the direction of his eyesight as a defining moment for his image. But we could also rework the image just in the eye area. I think we're just going to go with it as is because I like the smile there. It looks happy. It looks genuine, and I want to roll with that one. And the teeth look pretty decent. All right, so somber and shy looks like the original image. Let's see. Barely anything different there. And did I upscale the wrong one? I think I did. I wanted to upscale the one. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I upscaled 1 for this one. I mistakenly upscaled 4. I meant to upscale number 2 here. And I just really, the only difference, I see a little bit of nostril flare here. I'm telling you, it is so hard to get the guys to show the emotion. And maybe if I put that he was crying and sad or something, it would give some better emotion. But I don't necessarily need that type of emotion. However, let's try it out and see. We'll put crying and sad. All right, and let's see if it at least gives us some type of different expression here. Now, if I'm doing a female character, typically I do see that I'm able um, to get better expression or more extremes of expressions. So that might be just something dealing with the references that were used in order to build the models. Danielle, you love that movie? That's my favorite movie of all time. All right, so we're letting that roll. I'm just checking on the images that I do want. I want to make sure that I do have at least 5 different references. So now what I can do as well, I can take one of my images and change the region of the opposite face here. So this one I have smiling. Let me give the one where I have a slight smile. This one here, I'm going to vary the region of this one. And because I have a slight smile there, I'm going to grab this side here. And this one already says smiling. So this time I will take and put laughing. And let's see if it kind of increases the level of emotion that we can change here. All right. I got nothing with crying and sad. Crying and sad. It looks like, I don't know. Okay, the eyebrows furrowed a little bit there. The nostrils flared a little bit. This one, okay, he might shed a tear. He's up for an Oscar right there. But the reason why I want to have these different expressions too is because I want there to be something to reference when we get ready to build our graduation character. All right, so I am going to I like number 4 is actually an expression. So I'm going to upscale number 4. And I'm waiting. I need one more image to give me a good little variation of his expressions. And we did this with the ladies. So you'll see here, we're going to progress through all of this. But you'll see I had to start the same way with the ladies. Getting different expressions, different views of the same model or similar models, because sometimes you won't be able to get them exact, but you can do a very subtle and get a little bit different character, enough to where you can still reference that character, but that is not going to be the main character. It'll use references from those 5 images. But you'll see how we're going to progress with the next part. All right, at least I got a little head tilt this time. This one is done. Let's take a look at it. And am I excited about any of the excited poses? Not really. No, I'm not really. But you do see how it used the image on the left to update and create a different expression on the image on the right. So I think I am good with what I got. I am going to take one of these images and I'm going to go to very subtle on one of the non-smiling images, and I'm going to go to very subtle on one of the smiling images. And it should give me a little bit different. It may even change the face a little bit. It may not exactly look like the same person, but it may give me some different expressions that I can use to build my character. All right, I see some white there. Maybe we're going to get some big smiles. This one looks like it increased the, well, looks like it might be giving me a little more crying and sad. Little eyebrows furrowing there. Okay, okay. It seems like it's listening a little bit better now. And this is where I was telling you it's doing a variation here, but it is switching up the character a little bit because I did a very subtle. You could also do the very strong, but typically if you do very strong, it is going to look like a different character, but you can do that as well to end up getting some different results here. And for this one, I like that eyes are still open, big smile, top and bottom teeth. The character looks a little bit different, but I'm going to be able to deal with that because he's smiling. So I'm going to upscale number 1. And now I have enough images to go ahead and grab my 5 reference images. So for this, I'm going to open in browser. And I'm going to go ahead and open all of my upscaled images in my browser and save them at once. This one I will open in browser. This one, open in browser. The one with the glasses I will avoid. This one I'll open in browser, and then I had one more in the very beginning. Let's open that one in browser. Now what this does for me is allows me to go ahead and download each one. So I'm going to download them as 001. And as a matter of fact, I'll put the B 001 because this is our boy. We already have our girl. So I'm saving that one as 002, saving this one as B003, this one as B004, B005. All right. And there's a shout out to the channel I was talking about, Tao Prompts. Shout out because I don't know that this particular process would be the way that it is, and you all would have been able to create the graduation characters that we did without the help from that consistent character video. All right, so now that we have our 4 images saved, you can do basically a screenshot of those 4 images. And this is how I did tell you all how to do the 4 images originally. Just go ahead and screenshot them so that you don't have incredibly large images. And you could have done that right from the browser there. And as a matter of fact, I'll show you that method because I pulled them into Photoshop and I cropped them down. However, I do want to show you how to just use your snipping tool in the browser. So let me do that one more time. So we'll open that in browser. 1, 2, 3. And you only need 4 because technically your 5th image is one of your splits. That's my 4. And then the reason why I chose the 5th image here is because I wanted to make sure that I had some good close-ups. So here's how you can use your snipping tool. You just do Control-0 to make sure the full image is in your view. Grab your snipping tool, just like so. Okay, and then you can snip. And I hate that it has my little Pinterest thing right there, so I'm not going to snip that part. That's one snip. If I hit snip again, it's going to save it in a folder. So every time I snip, it's saving it. I'm going to go ahead and grab that one. So that's two different snips. This one, I'm not going to snip the one on the right because it's identical to all the other ones. So I'll snip this one on the left. Then I'll snip this one on the left with the big smile. And this one on the left has the little bit of sadness there. We'll grab that one. And like I said, this one did a variation, totally different face. However, the fact that he's smiling big, I wanted to be able to reference that emotion. So I'm going to allow for it to be a little bit different face there. And because the other 4 or 5 images do have the strong resemblance to one another, I feel like that will help me out in building these features. All right. So now we get into the fun part. We're going to go ahead and basically pull all of these images. So we'll hit upload file, and you may have a folder for your screenshots, and you'll see the beautiful female model that we did earlier. Okay. And these screenshots, I can't see them at the moment because they're still loading, but I'm going to grab this one all the way to this one and hit open. So I think I have a total of 6 images here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create a way that we can reference all of these images at once and call on these images in order to create basically a variation of that character doing something. So we'll do /, and I'll start typing in the word prefer. And what we want is prefer option set. I'm clicking on prefer option set. And then what we're going to do is we're going to name this action set. So what I had you all do is I had you all name him Adam. So A-D-A-M. So his name is Adam. And then you're going to click. And you know what? I'm going to do Adam. I'll name him. You named him Adam. I'll name him something that starts with a B. Let's name him Brett, B-R-E-T, something short and simple. Okay, so Brett. So now this is Brett. We're going to click on one more here, and you'll see the word value up top. So you can name him whatever little short name you want to name him so that you remember. All right, so that value that we're going to add here is basically the link to each of these images. So when I right click on the image, I have something that says copy link. If you do not see copy link, then what you would do is you would click on the image, you would go open in browser. This image would in fact open in your browser, and then you would go to the link up top here, right click and copy it. That does the same exact thing as my right click, copy link. So I'm going to place that value here. So I'm going to paste it, and then I'm going to put a space afterwards. And I'll do the same thing. I'll copy this link, paste it, put a space afterwards. Copy the link, not copy the image, but copy the link, paste it, put a space after, and I'm going to keep doing that. Copy the link, space after, copy the link, and put a space after. Once I do that, I'm going to go ahead and hit enter. All right, so now all of those images, whenever I put -- Brett, it's going to call on those images just like it would if I were to copy and paste all of those links every single time that I wanted to reference those images. All right, so now that our reference image is set up, we're going to move on to the next step. All right, so now we're going to start creating our graduate image. These are our reference images. We're going to start creating our graduate, basically our graduate photo shoot. So what we want to do is take a very similar prompt from what we had before. We'll copy the prompt that we had before. And this time we'll do / imagine, paste that prompt there. And we're going to change a couple of features here. And if you're on the working document, I'm just copying and pasting from the working document as well. All right, so this time we are going to change what he's wearing. Okay, so instead of wearing a white dress shirt and gray tie, we're going to say he's wearing a graduation cap and, oh, we want to say he's wearing a black graduation cap and black graduation gown. And then we also want to put here that we're at a high school graduation. Basically, we're putting it in that context. So here, right after after the complexion, we're going to take off the expression because we don't need the expression anymore. We're using the expressions to try to get different images of his face. So take out the expression altogether. And then we're going to put high school graduation. And now we're going to remove the split into 2 images. We don't need that. And the shot from multiple angles, we do not need that. And we no longer want the 2:1 aspect ratio. I'm just going to take this off completely and let it give us a square image like it does by default. It's going to give us a 1:1 image. If we need to, we can pan down or we can expand the size or we can zoom out to get more of the image that we want. But right now, I just want a basic graduation image. I don't even want to tell it what type of poses to do yet. I just want to keep it very simple. See if I can generate some images here. Now, this male may not look anything like our model right now, and that's fine because what we're doing is we are just developing some base models that will give us some of the results that we may want to see. Now, the whole point of this particular project is to generate different poses, different images of a similar or same model. All right. So we have a few different images here. They all pretty much look the same in terms of the type of image it gave us. It pretty much gave us that very simple face shot of graduation photo, a little bit of shadowing here in this one. So we would see if we did reference our model that we wanted, it would probably still give us the shadowing from the tree over here. That'll be pretty cool. So what we're going to do is we're going to upscale. Let's upscale number 1. And then I also want to upscale number 4 because he's smiling with some teeth there. So what we'll do is we'll see if we can reference our model now and get a better result and a more consistent result here. So for this one, I'm going to click Vary Region. And because I want to keep my cap and gown and everything, I'm only going to select his face here. I'll go ahead and select neck, ears. I'll go ahead and select it. I just wanted to know that I still want that graduation cap on there. Now, this time in the very beginning of the prompt, I'm going to put -- Brett, B-R-E-T, and then a space. And it should call on our image of Brett. And hopefully, did I spell Brett with 1 T or 2? Yep, 1 T. Okay, I was just making sure. Same thing here. We'll go Vary Region. And let's grab our lasso tool here. We're going to select the face and the skin. I'll go ahead and select that all together. And in the beginning, the prompt is going to read exactly the same, except we're going to put -- Brett. And let's process that. Oh, I have a comma at the end. I was supposed to just have a space. There we go. Now it should be able to recognize that. And this one is still processing here, but you see that it is changing the face there. And this one, change the face here. Let me make sure. This one is my smile image. I'm going to actually reference on my other screen, reference my screenshots. And I'm getting some similarities for number 2 and 4, but it's not as close as I want it to be. So I'm going to re-roll and see if it gives me better result here. And then also I notice it's lightening up his complexion here, and that may also have something to do with the fact that the original complexion is a little bit lighter than my original character. So be aware of that. It will basically blend the complexion of the new character with the facial features of the reference character. All right, so I'm letting that run again. And in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and start doing like a little bit different style of poses, or asking it to basically do something different with the way that the image is styled. So I'll take the same prompt here, start prompting it below. And if you go into the test room here, it has like some different things like Letterman jackets and different poses and someone holding their graduation cap, that sort of thing. So I'm just going to freestyle a little bit here, see if I come up with something new. Well, I could have also spelled graduation, right? Graduation. And it's good that Midjourney will know what you're talking about, even though I misspelled graduation. It did understand that I was looking for a graduation photo shoot. Now, this one, what I'm going to do, instead of putting photo of, I'm going to put photo shoot. And the reason why is because I want some more creative shots. So it will imagine that I'm looking for an actual photo shoot type of photo. All right, so here he's wearing black graduation cap. And what I can do here, it takes a little more time to process, but I can actually call on Brett before I prompt the poses. It just takes more time because it's trying to consider those reference images plus the poses. And basically you can overwhelm and not get the results that you want. So I'll do one with calling on the person and without, and we'll see how that tends to listen to what I want. Okay, so here I still want him wearing his cap and gown, but I'm going to put that he is sitting on the school steps holding a basketball. And I just made that up, but you can actually look up different photo shoots and get some ideas for what you want the characters to be doing. All right, so I'm going to copy everything here except for the Brett feature. I'm going to let that go. And then I'm also going to prompt this without using our Brett reference images at all. And I'm going to see if it listens to me more without having to reference the images here. All right, and I feel like image number 4 is our best feature there. I'm going to go with 4. Now 4, it looks like gave me my best one here too, but I can see that it's quickly changing his complexion, which is allowing it to look also like a different character. So you got to be aware of that. All right. So here, took out the cap and gown, gave him a little more hair right here, but I do like that it's giving me more consistency here. Let's do 2. Maybe he did have a shortcut in the fall and maybe he grew it out in the winter. Let's see. So I'll go ahead and upscale both of those. All right. So now we're on the stairs holding the basketball. I'm not looking like Brett at all, but this one we did not call on Brett. So what I want to do is just get the pose that I like best. I think number 4 looks more like something that would be a better photo shoot look. Possibly 3. And what I'm also doing, I'm checking for fingers, making sure like this one has an extra set of fingers. I'm good on that. So I'm going to go ahead and upscale 3 and 4. And then those as I upscale, I want to go ahead and do our very region. And I'm only going to select the face here. And I'll go ahead and select this entire area right here. And again, dash, dash, Brett in a space. And see, Brett will end up being a little bit lighter complexion here, but we can pull it into Photoshop and adjust those skin tones as well. All right, so I'm pressing the arrow to submit. Same here. I'm going to go very region. And let's grab the face here. And I'm going to reference Brett, dash, dash, Brett. Now, what I will also show you is face swapping. So we can kind of compare those results here. So this one, if I want to face swap, you will have to have this face swap feature. This does require a subscription, but there are some other face swapping features that you can use for different websites that may not require this, but it may or may not do it directly within Midjourney. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to save an ID. I'm going to name him Brett, B-R-E-T. And the image, I'm going to drop one with more of a neutral expression. And I'm going to grab this one here because I think it's the most neutral expression. Or is that the one where he's mad? Let me see. Let me see. I think that was the sad one. So this is the base image here. So I'm going to hit enter on that. So now we have saved the ID of Brett in here. And I can right click on an image, go to app, go to InSwapper. And because Brett was my last one that I touched, it's going to face swap with Brett. And for me, it gave them the complexion difference here, and it made him smile. Let me see if I like the options that it gave us when we called upon Brett with the smile. I think it's still, and I'm checking my reference images here, and that's what you want to do too. Check your reference images. I think 4, I'm looking at his eyebrows and then also his nostrils. And I think 4 is more consistent with that. So I'm going to grab 4. And if you're in class tonight for our Photoshop class, I'm going to give you a set of images that you can switch out for the original model images that are there. So you don't have to have 4 different characters. The whole point of the AI class on Monday was to show you if that's something that you're interested in having basically stock images for, because the stock images do not exist, then this offers you that opportunity. All right, so I am checking on this other one here too. And this one, I don't think any of them look like my Brett. It kinda does. It's the complexion difference really throws it off. 2 looks most like him. Alright, and this one references as well. So after it references, I'm going to now do a face swap. And like I said, don't mind that the complexion is totally different. Look how the without face swap and then the with face swap, it does give a little bit more of the like his nostril style is more consistent. And I want to see is his smile. Yeah, because Midjourney will give you some strange teeth sometimes. So I'm just making sure that that's not the case here. Let's go ahead and we'll do in swapper here. Because the image that I'm referencing doesn't have him smiling at all. So whatever teeth it gives me is making it up. All right, so that one definitely looks a little bit more like him. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and start putting in a couple of different prompts here. So this next one, I want him to be maybe in his basketball jersey and not necessarily wearing the cap and gown. So that might be a very common type of set of images you come across. All right, so this time he won't be sitting on the school steps. He will be holding a basketball and wearing a blue and white Letterman jacket. And now I'll put leather. Letterman jacket. Oh, and then this way we could take out what he's wearing here for the cap and gown. I'm still going to leave it that it's outdoors with the natural lighting because I'm focused more right now on getting the poses that I want, because for this project that we're doing, we're cutting the backgrounds out anyway because they're going to be popping out of the 2024. All right, and again, this time we reference just generically. I'll take the same prompt and now we'll reference our breads. / imagine. Let's put Brett first. Then paste the prompt. All right. Look at handsome Brett holding his basketball with his Letterman jacket. All right, so this one, it doesn't have the basketball in it. That one looks good. This one looks okay. That basketball looks really, really small. Let's see if we can, and it did not adhere to my colors here, but I know I can change that. So let's see, let's upscale number 2. And look, this one didn't listen to me at all when I told it to give me a Letterman jacket. It just put book bag on them. All right, so this one I'm going to pan down a little bit here, see if I can get some more image down there at the bottom. And this one, Brett's head shape starting to change up a little bit. Let's see. I don't want an image with him with a backpack on. I want you to see if you can do a little bit better listening to me next time. All right, so this one here is generating the lower half of the image. And then I may select this basketball and tell it to try again in that region. And then as far as the color of his jacket, I can change that in Photoshop. You can also do in painting here, and we can select just the jacket. Matter of fact, I'll select the jacket plus the basketball and see if it listens to me better when it's rerunning that prompt. And it's still here giving me the backpack. theme. I don't know where it got that I wanted that, but it's not budging from that. So what I if I see that it's not budging and I'm rerunning the prompt, it's not working, I'll take the entire prompt, copy it, and just do a fresh run of that exact prompt, and it should not give me the same image. Now, here's another thing that you can do too. If you want to use the 6.0 version, you can copy paste. I'm going to take the last part of that and put the version 6.0. And we're still calling on our Brett images here. So let's see what that comes up with. Now 6.0 does listen a lot better to the prompt. It will pair the descriptive words with the noun and the action a lot better than the 5.2 version. However, it does vary his face usually a lot more than the 5.2 version. Yep, so it's still giving me the backpack. This one is giving me a vest instead of the Letterman jacket. And this is my 6.0 version here. And I will say it's giving me more of his complexion. So I am excited about that. It did change the face up a little bit, but like image number 2 here does look a lot more like my original character. Image number 4. All of these images have more of the original complexion. Absolutely. Image 3 looks more like my original character as well. But it still brightened up his complexion just a little bit. But this one, the ones before with 5.2, it just did what it wanted to do with his complexion regardless. All right, and I'm going to rerun that one because I'm not happy that it gave me a vest. And then this one here, I'm going to choose one of the ones. It looks like it gave me a decent image here at the bottom. I will go with number 4 because I don't plan on using his hand anywhere at the bottom anyway. I just need an image to fade off from the bottom. So I'm going to upscale number 2. And all you need are 4 images. So I'm literally just going through the motions and showing you some of the different variations and ways that we get it to look like he took photos with a photo shoot here. All right, and for this one here, I'm going to yeah, I think I'm going to in Photoshop. If I use this one, I'll either cut out some of that image when it's doing the pop out, or I'll change the color of the jacket here. Now, if I want to do that before I extended it down here, I could go to Vary Region. And I'm going to show you how we can do that. It's called in painting inside of Midjourney. So I'm going to select his jacket here, including kind of like the collared shirt underneath and stuff. And it should understand by what I'm selecting that I'm not really happy with that part of the selection. And with the same exact prompt, I should be able to run it. And let's see what it gives me. All right, and for this one as well, we can do in swapper to change out the face here. And it gave me more of my original character's face. Although he has the complexion and even the hair of the original model, is definitely giving me more of the facial features of my character here. All right, so it's giving me everything from a hockey jersey to a vest to it might be doing a Letterman jacket here. But see how because I selected the in painting region here, it understood that I still wanted the basketball and I still wanted the blue and white Letterman jacket. It just was not giving me what I was really expecting there. So I'm letting this update here. don't know what kind of jacket that is up at the top with the texture on the sleeves. It's kind of cool. So I will say the closest, the gray and white one probably looks closer to what would actually be worn, but that basketball looks ridiculous. I'm actually going to upscale one. I like the texture on the sleeves there. It looks like something designer. And then once I have this done, now I can pan down. I don't know what it's going to do with the rest of that fuzzy sleeve jacket, but we'll get to see in just a moment. All right, so here, and then once I get that image, then I can face swap. But if I face swap it now, I won't have the opportunity to pan down later. So if you're going to do any of the features here, such as vary the region, vary it strong, vary it subtle, I can actually hit very strong here and very subtle and give you an idea what those two do. All right, and let's pick maybe one more pose. No, we have sitting on the stairs with a graduation cap, regular graduation cap, and even with the regular graduation cap, we will, this one here, I'm gonna pan that down. So I'm gonna give it a little bit of extra space towards the bottom because we're gonna have them popping out of letters. I would prefer for the image to be a little bit taller. I will show you how we do that in Photoshop also, because Photoshop has AI that allows you to do that. And then here I'm going to face swap. Well, no, I'm going to pan down before I face swap. And we have way more than 4 images. I just wanted to have some options of some different poses. See what we're going to bring in. All right, so this one we've upscaled, we've panned down, and we've done a variation subtle and variation strong. So this one is a variation subtle. And you'll see there's a little bit of change between each image. The expression on his face, like he's got a little bit more wrinkles in the forehead here. Fingers are a little bit more spaced out or less spaced out here. The ball appears a little bit different, but overall, I think image number 2 and 4 are more of, I'm looking at the shape of his head too and his haircut. I think image number 4 is most like my character. Of course, the complexion is different. And this one, I think I like image number 2. Actually, image number 4 a little bit better here. So let's go with image number 4. This is the one that I had extended. And you can tell that once you extend it, his hand was already up here on the ball. So it looks a little goofy that the ball is just kind of stuck up in the air. But I would say if I had to choose out of these, I believe either 2 or 4 is my strongest. This one, it gave me, I don't know what kind of basketball that is. And this one, I'm not happy with either of those. And I do sort of like this one here with the graduation cap with the basketball. That's going to be image number 3. Let's upscale that one. All of these pretty much look the same because all it did was just extend the bottom of it. All of these will probably look the same because all it did was just extend the bottom. All right, and here I still need to pan down here, and then also face swap. This one I'll pan down and then face swap. So let's vary region and show the difference between the vary region versus the face swap. So this one we're going to call on dash dash Brett. This one, same thing, vary region. And let's call on dash dash Brett. This one we'll just go ahead and face swap, see what that looks like. All right. This one we're going to go ahead and face swap as well. All right, so we're getting some more consistency in our characters. This one I will upscale 1, even though his hand still looks a little, no, 2. His hand still looks a little janky, but we're going to roll with it. This one we're going to face swap and compare it to the original image where it called on our references. Not bad. All right, so we have plenty of images now. It gave me some different hair here. Let me go with image number 3. And let's do a face swap. All right, so now we're getting a little closer to our images. We'll have to change some complexion for some of them, but as long as I have 4 images, we're going to be ready to roll. So let's go ahead and pull up our images. We're going to go open in browser for whatever we have pulled up here. And I think for this one, our face swap one definitely did better than the references here. Opening browser is what I'm supposed to be doing. It's opening up on my other screen. And definitely our face swap values are providing more of the details. For instance, the morphing that's done, so that it's keeping the nose shape, but if it seems like it's smiling, it's basically morphing the shape of the features, but it definitely is not keeping my complexion. This one kind of kept the complexion because it just happened to give that complexion in that one. Like I said, I like the little fuzzy jacket there. Right, and I really want to make sure that we maintain it. We have at least one graduation photo where he's wearing the graduation cap and gown, and I have that. We have one where he's showing his activity, which is basketball. We have one where he's still holding the basketball, but he's got on his shirt and tie. And let's do one more. I'm not doing the book bag photo. Let's do one of the ones where he's holding the basketball on the stairs with the full garb on. We'll grab that one. All right. So just to show you some of the results, I think we did a few different variations here. You'll see the one that I'm pulling up now was done exactly the same method inside of Midjourney. So you'll see we're getting similar. It's not the same person. The features change up just a little bit because this is Midjourney. The whole purpose of Midjourney is to never create the same thing over and over again. So we're going against the natural order of what Midjourney wants to do. But it does allow you to see that there are some ways that you can get the results that you want. All right, so that's one. And then in the test one as well, same thing here. This one, I ran a lot of different descriptions of different poses and things that would help you to get some different results. But as you can see, it creates a character that may not look anything like the character that I'm originally creating. But when I reference her images, then I get very similar features to the reference images. So that's one way to do it without face swap. And then if you're using the face swap, it just can get so much closer. Even if you start here and then you face swap with the character that you have saved, it even gets closer to those features. So just showing you that with an additional tool, the face swap tool, you're able to even get closer to your consistent characters. All right, so that's just showing you how we were taking some of these images and turning them into our original model. So, and the idea here is you have to have a similar complexion, similar hair there, and then all we did was swap out the face with the reference call. And I think I didn't even do face swap at all on those. So those are all using this reference technique. So you'll see how it goes from there. It even creates a style. So this has that old kind of cinematic style there. It kept the style, but changed out her face. All right, so we'll see. You all can go, if you're in, have access to the class, go into that and kind of see the progression of making those models. You can copy and paste the poses that are in there and have a lot of fun with that. We're gonna move on to the Photoshop side of things because now that we have 4 models, we need to place those models inside of our 2024 design in Photoshop. All right, so the first thing that we're going to do is go ahead and open up those 4. So we're going to go ahead and save them first. So I'll save this image as. That's how I do when I open in browser. All right, so we have 1, 2, and usually I'll have an alternative. So I don't have exactly, I might have 5 saved right now. And see how his head gets wider there? Look. And this one I probably won't use because I like the other one with the fuzzy jacket. So I'm going to leave that one alone because I have my 4 images. And then I will bring them first in Photoshop. Before I cut out the background, I'm going to go ahead and see, do I need to extend the images? Do I need to fix anything? Is anything looking wild and crazy? So this is my image prep, basically. So I'll go ahead and open up those 4 images. And for this one, I need a little bit more imagery down here at the bottom. So I'm going to go to my crop tool. And because I have the latest version of Photoshop, it gives me the option up here for the fill to do generative expand. I'm going to select that. And then I'm going to pull the image down a little bit here and maybe even pull it out just a little bit to the side because just in case I want it to pop out of the number, I want to have something to end the image there. And once I do that, I'll hit enter. Let it generative fill this area here. All right, and then you'll usually have 3 options here. One of them may work best for you. I am going to choose option number 2 only because it gives me like a cleaner outline of the sides here. What I'll do is right click and I'm going to merge that down. and go ahead and close out of this one because it's everything I need it to be. I have enough space here at the top. All right, and here, if I needed to change anything, I think we are good here. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave this one alone. I think this one's fine. So for this one, I think this one is good too. I don't have anything cut off that I don't need cut off. I may need a little bit more imagery towards the bottom here. So again, I'll grab the crop tool, pull that down, hit generate, and then it'll give me something to fade off. Because if you have nothing to fade off, then you end up in a sticky situation where your image looks cut too short, or you end up having to just put a flat color down there. And the whole point of the generative fill is so that you don't have to fill things with color anymore. All right, and I'm just looking to see. That one looks fine right there. Right click, and let's merge that down. In this one here, I'm going to expand a little bit out to the side just in case I need his shoulder. I don't like his shoulder being cut off. And maybe a little bit more here. Just gives me something cleaner to cut out. Now, of course, his hands and the ball there is a little funny, so we could play with that. But I have not seen Photoshop give me better hands than what I showed up with. So until that starts happening, I'm going to, even Midjourney drops the ball and fumbles quite frequently when it comes to hands. Let's see, that one is fine. I think it's kind of imagine that he's squatting down. That'll be enough to fade off. So I'll merge that down. And now that I have my 4 images, I like to use remove BG. And for the sake of class, you can use the free version of it. You don't even have to log in. But do understand that if you have the paid version, if you use your credits, you can get the higher resolution images. So what I'm going to do is drop my 4 images here into remove BG. Let it pull that background out for me. There's one. I can go ahead and download that. Notice the pixels are going to be very limiting because I'm using the free version. So that was 4. Let me drag in 3. We'll go ahead and download that. 2. Let's download that. And 1. Let's go ahead and download here. So now we have our 4 images. We're going to go ahead and pull those into our template here. Now I'm going to move pretty fast. I already did a demo of this template. This is just going to be as if I was doing this for a real project in real time. I'm going to go ahead and click on photo number 1. And I'll drag in my main graduation image here, scale it up a little bit. Hit enter to lock in that transformation. I can alt click and drag this fade off from this image. That looks good. Let's go ahead and hit yes to save. That should update all of my photo number 1s. Perfect. And don't worry right now about what's being cut off. We're going to fix that in just a moment. I just want to go ahead and get my images in place. Photo number 2 will be the one with the Letterman jacket. You can do file, place embedded. And grab my Letterman image here. And let's go ahead and also grab that fade off layer. I just alt clicked and dragged it to copy that layer mask. All right, that's number 2. And then let's see, we want to do photo number 3. And I'm just going to click and drag from my folder instead of doing File, Place, Embedded. And, oh, we already used that one. I want to do, let's do this one. All right, and then we can use the fade off here, but I don't think it's going to be quite enough because I see we're hanging off just a little bit here. So, well, no, we're fitting where it matters. If I needed to, I could also fade off the sides here, but I think that looks good. Let's go ahead and close it out. And make sure that you hit yes to save when you're closing out of that. All right, and then image number 4. We'll replace with this one. All right, and again, I'm going to grab the fade off layer here, or actually I'll show you how to do it. Make a fresh new layer mask here. Grab your paintbrush. Make sure that you have a soft round brush selected, one of your default brushes. Make sure that black is loaded up in the front here. So I'm going to hit my default button, my switcheroo button to get black in the foreground. And then I'm going to increase my pixels of my brush to about 1400. And then I'll just fade that off right there. And this is what I'm saying. Sometimes you need to fade off on the side because it doesn't have any data over there to draw from. But that looks good. Let's hit yes to save. And now that we bring these all together, okay, it kind of gives me a cohesive look versus just random images that would never match up. Now we are going to have to adjust the placement of some of these. So I'm going to right click and I'll go to the, let's go to the pop out photos. I'm going to go to photo number 1 here. So what we have to do is we have to replace all of these layer masks. So I'm going to go File, Save As, and I'm going to save this as my B version. All right, so what I'm going to do is delete the layer mask here, and we're going to fix them and replace them. And I'll show you how easy that is. Now this one, I saved this one here for a reason because if you did not move anything, you're going to be able to reference that. If you did move it and you're not sure where to get your layer mask from, I'm going to show you what to do there. So let's turn that one off so we can see what we're working with here. And at this point, you're going to select each photo 1, 2, 3, and 4, and you're just going to edit it just a little bit to see what's going to be popping out or what is going to be cut off. So in this case, I may want the top of the graduation cap to stick out just a little bit. So it looks like he's popping out of the number there. With the basketball image here, I'm going to make sure that his face is nowhere near the inside of the 0 because I don't want his face getting cut off. Let's go ahead and right click on image number 3. And again, I'm making sure his photo is not cut off. The top of his hat is going to pop out of the 2. All of this over here on the right hand side is going to be cropped off by the number. That's going to be good there. And photo number 4, I do want him to pop out of the frame just a little bit, but I want to avoid putting those hands in there. So I'm going to let it kind of go into the darkness over here and not worry about it popping out, but it's going to be cut off the basketball and some of the hands are going to be cut off by the 4. And then for this one, I'm going to decrease the size just a little bit. All right, there we go. Okay, now in order to get the 2024, the inside clean mask, if you don't have this saved up here or you messed with it, maybe you deleted it, then what you're going to do is you're going to come all the way to one of the 2024s that's here. You're going to hold down control while you click on the thumbnail there. So it's going to grab all the inside meat there. And then we'll come to our photo number 4 and we're going to add a layer mask there. Okay. And you'll notice to put everything inside of that 2024. Now we can take this layer mask and drag it, Alt click and drag it to the other photo layers. And it makes sure that everything is nice and clean inside of the letters. So if that's how you want it, you want everything nice, clean inside of the letters, that's how you do it. But if you want to be advanced, like we do here in the Academy, you want to add a little pop out. So let's go ahead and choose photo number 4. We'll start with this one. That's where we are with photo number 4. And we're going to use our brush tool here. And we don't need this big old brush. As a matter of fact, I'm going to suggest you do a hard round brush, size of maybe around 700, just so that it's big enough to grab some information, but not big enough to overlap something if you don't want to. All right. And then I want you to hold down control, select the thumbnail for the image that we're going to pop out, and you're just going to tap up. I have black selected, so black, it conceals and white reveals. I want white to be selected, so I'm going to hit my switcheroo button, bring the white to the foreground, and I'm going to build that right back in. So anything that I want to pop out, and I mistakenly made them pop out right there on the side, I don't want it to pop out past that 4 on the side. I want that to be cut off. Okay, so now we have the pop out for this one. I can do Control D to deselect. And let's move on to this one here, which is photo number 3. I'll hold down control, click the thumbnail, puts marching ants around my image here. I have white selected, so white's going to reveal the top of his hat here. Everything else I'm going to let get cut off. Okay, so now it looks like he's popping out of the 2 a little bit. Control D to deselect. I'll go to image number 2, select that image. And make sure that you're on the layer mask. If you're on the image, you don't want to be painting on the image. You want to be on the layer mask associated with the image. And I'll bring the top of his head out of there. And then for this one, I'm going to let the basketball kind of pop out a little bit too. All right, so deselect. And then finally for this one, we're going to hold down control, select the thumbnail here, and allow the top of the hat to pop out. Maybe even that graduation tassel could kind of hang down low outside of the 2 a little bit. And maybe I want his shoulder to kind of pop out a little bit there. Perfect, perfect. And that is it for my pop out effect. Now for this one, you probably have a logo for that school. You probably have a certain set of colors. So what I want to do here is I want to go grab a logo that we created from one of our previous AI classes. 004, we made a lot of different mascots here. I'm just going to type in the word vector so I can search what kind of vector logos we made. And I just want to choose a different mascot. I don't know what it would be yet. That one looks similar to what we already have. Yeah, let's say it could be like a hornet or something, but I also want to choose a different colorway. So let's see. Elephant. We have another cat-like character. I would like to give you a contrast here. Maybe even... Let me see if I can find a good eagle. I think that would be a good contrast. Oh, and you don't have to do the mascot. You can do like a character or something. This one is one of the characters. I like this one, which is number that would be 1, 2, 3. So let's jump to that one. We can upscale number 3. And that one's football. Let me see if I can find one basketball. We did a basketball one too because his sport is basketball. And let's see if I can find an eagle. And these are all images that we make in our AI in action class. So each class we do something different. We're learning something different. We're applying different principles. Ooh, I like that one. That's image. Let's jump to that one. Grab that. I'm going to open in browser and let's save that. And this way I'm adding a little bit of an accent here. I'm going to change out my logo here. So we'll just double click on it. I'll turn it off. I'm going to do File, Place Embedded. Grab the eagle logo or the mascot. And then for this one, what I want to do is I want the AI in Photoshop to help me cut out my image. So I'm going to go to Object Selection Tool, drop down here, go to Cloud, go to Select Subject, and just have it clean this up a little bit. All right, and as it made that selection, I'm going to just let that be what it is. I believe that Remove BG does a little bit better with the removal of the background. So I'm going to hit Decontaminate Colors and put Refine Hair because I see a little bit of issues around the hair there. So that helped when I put Refine Hair. Now, what I am going to do right here, I'm not happy with what is on his jersey right now. Now, this is not what we're going to do in class, y'all. Please understand. But what I can do is take this image right here. And let's do a generative fill, see what it will give me in that place. All right, and I can just let it be blank, or of course I can do like I can type a different name and number on there. I'm just going to let it be blank for the sake of using it for this class and this template. But what I am going to do is I'm going to change up the color here instead of the cyan. So I'm going to right click and merge that down. And then I can get rid of this one. I don't need that anymore. And to change this color here, I'm going to do a hue saturation. I'm going to clip it down to this layer. Like I said, this isn't what we're doing in class. I'm just showing y'all some extra while I'm here demonstrating. This is why you want to learn Photoshop while you're learning artificial intelligence artwork generation. So I'll use this little finger pointer here, and I'm going to select some of the color in the jersey. It's letting me know those are cyans, and I can kind of move those to where I want them to be. We already have blue right now. Let's make it more of a red. We can increase that saturation there. We can bring the red. Ooh, let's make it a maroon. I like that. And I want it just a little bit more maroon than like an orangey red. And I'm happy with that right there. So that's going to be our school color there. And if you aren't learning these kind of things while you're learning AI, you're going to be able to do a lot with AI, and AI will advance. But at the very least, it will be beneficial for you to learn this stuff because it's going to elevate your skills. So for this one, I'm going to make the mascot bigger. I'm going to drag this little corner here. And like I said, you all aren't going to be doing all this. You're just going to change out the logo real quick in class. I don't expect you to just come out the gate knowing and achieving all of this, but every single Wednesday class, you're going to learn something that is a little advanced, but we just make it really simple. All right, so for this one, I'm going to reduce the size of the little logo that was there. I'm going to take that out. And this one, I want to have maybe him popping out here, but going behind here. So in order to do all of that, I'm going to take my pop out with the photos. I'm grabbing everything here. And this is basically everything without my mascot. I'm going to duplicate that group. I'm going to merge it after I duplicate it. And I'm just using this basically as a reference for where I want my image to go before and behind. And that's taking a little rendering room right now. There it is. So I'll control click on this thumbnail. And let me get rid of that group I created. All right, so now on this logo, I'm going to pick and choose what I want to be behind and what I want to be in front of. I'm going to use my paintbrush here. Reduce the size a little bit. And I'm going to be creating a layer mask here. So this one, I'm going to create a special layer mask. And this one, I'll go to reveal all because I just want it to be a straight white layer mask. And I'm going to paint away the area here. So I want it to be black so it can conceal. I want this hand to be hiding behind. And I want this hand to be in front. Maybe even the basketball should not interfere too much with the head there. But, and this is just to give you a general idea of how you would do this. This is not what we would be doing in class. We're going to keep it super simple. I'm just giving you some additional skills to try out. All right, I'm on the layer mask, got my paintbrush tool selected here. I'm going to bring the brush size down just a little bit so I don't interfere with the basketball there. And I can tell Photoshop is a little bit mad at me because it's going kind of slow right now. So I'm letting it take its time. I can pull, zoom out here now, Control 0. And then I have my character kind of popping out as well. Let's do Control D to deselect. And then I'm going to change the colors in my design here. So I'm going to keep the yellow color as the gold, but I want to change the blue to the red color. So first, I'll go ahead and use my color picker tool to select one of the reds that looks good right there, that garnet color. Let's double click on color 1, duplicate the layer, and change that swatch to our red that we just created. Close it down, hit yes to save. All right. Now I do have some fill effects here, depending on what you want to see. Oh, you know what? I need to take this right here. Let's go to our photo 3. Photo 3 is kind of spilling over into this area and I don't want it to. So I'm going to take my paintbrush here, make it a little bit bigger, go onto the layer mask here for photo 3. And I'm just going to kind of clear that up a little bit. All right. And now I really like the splash paint here because that's going to be a little bit different than what I did before. So I'm going to grab my graduate letter here. So 2024 graduate looks good there. I will change my color number 2 and maybe make it a gray so that I can utilize the silver instead of the gold. Show you what that looks like. I'm going to go with like a slight gray. All right, and then this particular one, because I'm using the gray color, I want to go with the silver. So wherever I have the metallic color that says gold, I'm going to change it to silver instead. Same thing with the word graduate. I have a layer that's called metal color, and we're going to change it from the gold to the silver. And you also have some levels on there in case you need to make it darker or lighter. I'm going to go with lighter there, kind of brighten that up a little bit. And here is where we have some of our patterns and effects here. So right now, this blend mode is on linear light. I'm going to let it be normal instead. So it gives me that fresh, straight up gray color. Let's go ahead and create that clipping mask. It broke up my clipping mask there. And for this one, I was either thinking I like both. So I'm putting my twill pattern on there. I have the splatter pattern. We have like the elephant skin that is popular for Jordan fans. That one is really popular. And as a matter of fact, we'll kind of show it in both ways. So let's do the twill plus the splatter. And this is ready to go. You can change out the text here as well, of course. When you're in class, you'll be able to do that by just double clicking on the T, and you can put a person's name there. You also have class of in there already saved. Class of is in there. You have the name that's in there, and then you also have graduate in the middle versus graduate at the bottom. So either of those pieces you can edit, you can duplicate them, you can change them and make them whatever you want them to be. All right, and one thing I do need to do for photo number 2, let me go into that photo. Because I want his blue jacket to be burgundy, I'm gonna do a little hue saturation, create a clipping mask, get the finger and grab that blue color. So I'm gonna take the blues and make them a little bit more burgundy. Not quite purple. I can punch up the saturation to get a little more of that red. Bring down the lightness to get it a little bit darker. And now he's going to match my theme here. I forgot that he was wearing a blue jacket. All right, so that is it. Oh, I think my eagle character there has a little bit of trash that is right there on his collar. So let me just paint that out. Beautiful. And when this is all ready to go, is one image. Right click, quick export as PNG. And we have a folder. This one is what, 256? All right, and you'll see that these are some of the variations that we did for the young lady. I do want you to see here that we have, I'll show you in a little bit, but there's a glitter option, and this one is going to be not glitter. This one is twill. And then it also has the splatter. And I'm going to save a version with the elephant print as well. So you have the bling, you have the glitter for the ladies, you have the twill, you have a splatter, and then we also have the elephant print texture. You can bring in whatever patterns you want, or you can just do flat color, which flat color, I don't know that I've ever done flat color before. Let's do the elephant print there. And then we'll take off the splatter. There we are. Let's go ahead and quick export this one as PNG. And I'm going to put this one as elephant. So you'll know which patterns were used for each of those. And you are free, if you have access to the template, you're free to use my mockups as your mockups for your website so that you can get orders going. As soon as somebody tells you, oh, that's fire, I want to get one of those shirts as soon as possible, then all you have to do is come in and create a 10-minute template flip. If you're brand new, if you're familiar with these, then you know you can get these flips done in 5 minutes. So that's why we call them 5-minute templates. All right, so we have those variations done there. And if you're in class today, I will give you these images. You will be flipping out from one image to the other. And I did want to just show you some of the colors here for glitter. You have that option. The bling, you have that option. And with the bling, you're probably going to go in and change your levels in order to get the deeper colors that you want. All righty, my love. So that is it. You have a whole nother video to reference. You're going to have so much fun with this little template right here that I don't know how many variations you end up doing, but if you flip this 4 times, you're going to be able to flip this template out in 5 minutes. So whenever your customers come to you and they have their photos ready, you're going to use Remove BG, get the background out of there, pop those into here. You can make them pop out or not, but at least you understand how to do that and how to make this image really, really stand out amongst everything that's out there on Etsy and on Amazon. You are going to absolutely have a leg up on your competition. All right. And hopefully I'm still live because I wasn't looking down at all the whole time I was going. All right. So that's it, my loves. I appreciate you and I love you dearly. And until next time, bye. Y'all take it easy. The kids say bye too.